Hi and welcome to this week's Three Legs, Four Wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with...
Dan.
Chris.
And the phenomenal Lee Stevens.
Phenomenal this week. Hi to everyone listening, hi to everyone watching.
Hello.
Still seems weird saying that. Should we just jump straight into it because we've got Russia to preview this week.
We have, at some point.
Yeah.
And we've got news and we've got a new feature.
Oh, apparently so. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't written it down on the
I haven't
running
written
order.
it down, but I remember it. We'll do the news first,
Okay.
I think. And the first thing that is written on the running order, here is a running order, is...
Spoilers?
Yeah. I waved it too fast, nobody'd be able to see it.
Have you not seen
They're
that?
CSI in the fuck out of this right
Yeah.
now.
Right, okay.
Zooming and enhancing.
LL Cool J is watching.
Apparently so.
Wow.
Yeah, all right. First thing we've got is Sauber are looking at Honda as an option for 2018.
As reported by motorsport.com today.
The gospel of news.
It isn't, which is why I've said that. Because
You do know that motorsport are the same people as autosport and F1 racing.
yes, but there's often stuff on motorsport.com which doesn't actually appear anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But of
And-
course, there were rumours a couple of weeks ago about.
yeah, so it appears to be snowballing somewhat.
Yeah.
That's why I put it in the running order.
I always ask myself the question when I go on any website. If I'm willing
Am I
to
in
believe
incognito mode?
It. Yeah. Yes, does it start with onion? But does it look like a website from 1996? And I know, like motorsport website doesn't look the best, does it?
No, but it is full of a lot of information, and I believe
Loads
they've
of
got-
lines.
Yeah, they've got a lot of contributors as well, so it'd be quite easy for something that isn't necessarily 100% gospel to go up there. But this is a story that's been snowballing quite a lot lately, which is why I think it's worth mentioning. Sauber
That's something
looking
I look for in incognito.
absolutely
Never look for snowball.
no.
Oh,
But Sauber are looking at an option to take on Honda engines in 2018. Now, the initial 3-year deal that McLaren and Honda had together, of course, ends at the end of 2017. So we don't know whether that revokes the Honda can't supply anyone else unless McLaren say so. But also, there's been a change in the FIA rules as well, which means which say something along the lines of if a team is without a competitive engine, they must be provided with one. So I don't know why McLaren is still running Honda.
It's also by the engine supplier that's supplying the lowest number of teams. So
Honda will be that manufacturer.
And of course, there's the change of ownership in McLaren since last time people were asking about using Honda engines.
yes.
DD
Tinfoil time.
Ron.
Tinfoil time.
Already?
Yeah. Maybe this is why I know I've already been talking about fucking Yetis. Where are the words?
I don't know.
You're buffering now.
Yeah, I'm just buffering. Basically, what if it's not a second Honda team? What if by the time 2018 comes around,
It's just the
Sauber
Honda team.
or not only, or is it Honda, or is it like the de facto? Is Sauber the de facto Honda team because McLaren is McLaren Mercedes again?
Possibly.
Wouldn't rule it out.
No.
I could see it happening as easily as either solution.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to wait a few races. They've got stuff coming for Russia. There'll be stuff for Spain as well, I should think.
Yeah, can I just point out we're only 3 races into this season and we're already talking about what Honda and McLaren and Sauber are going to have for next year.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
This
really,
is
isn't
just
it?
Formula One now, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah,
It's just a
silly
constant-
season is 12 months long.
Yeah.
Fully.
And we love it.
Yeah, it's great. It gives us something to talk about. The other thing I was thinking was, I read today that new McLaren boss,
Zach Brown.
yeah, turned around and said that McLaren are interested in doing Indy 500 every year now.
Until they win it.
Yeah, but does that? Chances are, if they're going to do Indy, they're going to have Honda engines.
Yeah.
So McLaren would still essentially be using a Honda engine. There'd still be a tie-in. Would that make a break off in Formula One easier?
I would have thought it'd make it less likely.
Yeah, I just didn't know whether there was some sort of nice PR spin you could put on it, as if
I don't know if McLaren at the moment could afford to break the deal with Honda rather than the other way around. Honda are giving them £100 million worth of resources.
That ain't pocket trap.
No. They're basically paying Alonso's wages. Well, they are paying Alonso's wages whilst he's in the team, and
there could be even more if he's got like a rider where they've got to supply tissues for him.
Well, yeah, and I said, I think it was last week's podcast with the when you look at Renault and they've got the de facto, well, the actual works team, full-on works team, Renault Enstone team. Then you've got Red Bull, who are running a TAG engine. We know it's a Renault, really. Toro Rosso, who are running a Renault engine as well. There are 3 teams there. 3 teams that are giving the engine manufacturing team at Enstone a feedback in how their different cars work with the power unit and how the power unit responds to their commands to do certain things. They'll be able to take data from all those 3 teams and be like, well, they're saying that, they're saying that, and they're saying that. So from those 3 sets of data, we can correlate this. And that's what we need to work on for this power unit. With Honda have got McLaren. And that's it.
And they keep breaking, so it's limited data at that.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, was it a drive shaft that broke was it Alonso out of the Chinese Grand Prix?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, a drive shaft, that's not a Honda problem. That's a McLaren problem.
No, but I read somewhere that it was a problem that was created through vibration.
Which could be a Honda issue.
Which they will have sorted out soon.
By Spain,
apparently.
Yeah.
Didn't say which year.
No.
They've stopped that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it would make more sense if Honda did spread their load a bit more with taking on Sauber, and perhaps if we do see any new teams in Formula One, maybe supplying an engine to one of the new teams into the sport as well. So you would have as many teams as possible providing Honda with feedback, and Honda would then be able to provide the better power unit for all the teams that they provide. Not just relying on one team's data, which could be skewed. Don't forget, it's not beyond McLaren to skew some data to say, our car's brilliant, your power unit's terrible.
I think there's some fundamental issues with the Honda engine that would happen in any car.
Yes.
It appears to be a little bit vibratey.
Yeah, but I would almost bet money on, in fact I would bet money on it, that if you put that Honda power unit in 2 teams, they would have the problem solved in half the time.
You see, I know where you're coming from, but they haven't done it in 2 years.
With one team.
With one team and with Ron Dennis saying, no way is anyone else getting a Honda engine, I veto it.
Yeah, and it sounds like Honda may want to actually explore options with other teams, Sauber being the obvious choice.
It sounds like that old maths problem, if it takes 4 men 3 days to dig a hole, how long will it take 2 teams to screw up an engine?
Yeah.
I think the more worrying thing is as well was the worrying thing for them was good signs from testing from the last day, because they had reasonable reliability, I believe.
Yeah, we've had the Bahrain test since we last podcasted.
But when asked what they changed on the car, they literally said, "I have no idea."
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is in a testing session when really you're trying to push things to their very limits,
doesn't break.
Trying to make them to break.
Yeah. That is really, really bad. That's when you want it to break so you can learn how to fix it.
Yeah, and Stoffel Van Dorn did 82 laps, I think it was, on the second day of the test. Didn't break down. So encouraging that the car's actually done more laps than it's ever done before, because it was a pre-season testing, it managed 14.
Something like
that. The first
yeah.
race, it managed 30-something.
Yeah.
And then slowly been getting better, 50-something laps, wasn't it, in Bahrain. So
I'd argue, though, reliability isn't the issue for that engine. I mean, it's obviously an issue. It's pace.
I think reliability is the first issue. Until they've got that sorted out, they're not going to be able to do any proper work on the pace.
Ron Dennis's thing was always, I want a fast car that we can make reliable. And then he changed his tune.
He did.
Yeah, but I think it was a fast car that sometimes doesn't finish the race, not a fast car that might make it to halfway.
Yeah. Reliability, stability, and then speed, I think, were his famous words when he took over, when Honda came and took over the engine supply for McLaren.
Yeah.
But
and Fernando's only got 2 of those at the minute.
Yeah,
he's got reliability and speed, but he's not very stable.
No, but it's also been confirmed as to what we said last week as well, with Stoffel Van Dorn's car not being restarted at the beginning of the Bahrain Grand Prix, was to save the MGU-H, because it looks like Honda are actually going to bring a reliability upgrade to the MGU-H in Russia. So it's very, very early to bring. Obviously, then they must know, there's a huge problem with the MGU-H. So we're going to put that in as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
And also, that vibration, we're on that too. We're going to get that sorted. It's crazy to think that they didn't really understand the stem of the problems until they did that first day of pre-season testing.
I mean, remember back when we were told last year that Honda had engines on the dynos 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
How is that like a fundamental problem, like vibrations coming from the engine? How did that get past like R&D? I don't expect you to answer this, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeps breaking that, Dave. Be fine. It just needs to be in a car. Don't think that's how it works, Dave.
No, but and again, this harks back to what Eric.
It's not a very Japanese name, Dave.
No, it's not Dave. No, but this harks back to what I was saying about Eric Boulier said about the culture of Formula One, and how Honda don't appear to be willing to immerse themselves in the culture of Formula One. And they're not. They'll just build a power unit and send it. Basically, and build a power unit in Japan and send it over. We know what we're doing. Well, apparently you don't. But I mean, it could be that it wasn't until that power unit was bolted up to an actual gearbox that it caused that issue.
Yeah, because of course you got more things in the car spinning around and potentially vibrating than just the engine.
Yeah. And obviously you got G-force as well. You know,
Yeah.
You've got far more forces going through the car. But I just can't. I can't get around my head that a company like Honda, with that amount of money, hasn't sorted it. But we keep saying that every week. We say that.
Going back to what Flood was saying about them not being immersed in Formula One culture, I've been reading.
I'd say they're right up to the fucking necks in it.
I've been reading the Ross Brawn book, and he was saying that Toyota did exactly the same thing. That they were separate from Formula One culture. They said, we've got our Japanese techniques, we know they work for building road cars, they'll work for building Formula One cars. And they threw money at it.
They threw all of the money at it.
And weren't involved with the sport, and they were separate from it. And that's what meant that they never even got a single race win.
Didn't they burn something like 800 million?
Something ridiculous like that.
It was some stupid amount, and all they had to show for it was a pole position at Indianapolis when they couldn't race.
But now I'm more thinking. I think it might even be in the billions now.
No, I don't think it was quite that
Was
much.
it
But
not?
they threw hundreds of millions at it, and all they got out of it was a Lewis Hamilton World Championship.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories.
Well, not really. Just Timo Glock on the wrong tyres. But
One thing that has come out of
Just quickly, Massa still doesn't speak to Timo Glock.
still,
Yeah.
oh right,
speak to
okay,
him.
fine.
Yeah, one thing that has come out of the whole fuss with Honda is the F1 strategy group are now looking at ways to help Honda during the season tweak the rules just to give them a little bit of a better chance.
You guys
Because
get a
the-
head start of 5 laps.
Pretty
Well,
much.
there's a thing, isn't there? There's a rule that is ready to be put in place and has been for a long time, that all engines must be competitive and within 0.5 seconds of each other. But just power unit
It's about that amount of time. And because Honda are so slow in comparison, they've taken timings of every engine on every lap in every car. for the first 3 races and made like the engine index. Honda are that far down on it that at the
They're
next
still taking the readings.
yeah. At the next strategy group meeting, they're looking to sort of enforce this rule to allow Honda to do extra things, which I assume would possibly be more engines in the pool.
I was just going to say that the thing to do there then would be to, if you've got a team which is right in such trouble, to try and get some sort of parity,
Yeah.
to take away the penalties would be a huge advantage, because we're gonna get to a horrible situation where Honda might get their act together, but Fernando is still serving 250
Yeah.
grid penalty from Belgium.
Yeah.
And to me, that makes sense because as a fan, what you want to see is close racing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And so things that bunch the teams up are going to be good.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, we don't want a development war. We don't want Mercedes just pouring billions into their engine, making Renault need to pour billions into theirs.
Yeah.
But still allowing new entrants or those who are struggling to do the development to help catch up. Just not let the guys in front race away.
Question then, if you will permit me to save Formula One again and fix it.
Of course.
This will be the 322nd time, according
Yeah.
to my count.
Yeah. I'm
That's over 3 times a show.
glad you're keeping tabs.
Why do you think he's so quiet?
I'm updating hasleesavedformula1today.com every minute.
That needs to be made.
Then surely the best thing that they could do is you scrap driver penalties, because we hate driver penalties for gearboxes and such. Yeah.
It's a bit rubbish that when you get somebody so good, forcing a Sauber up into Q2, for example,
Yeah.
and then you see that they forced it so hard that they might have to replace the gearbox, and they replaced the gearbox, and it's like, well, they're back again anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if you do it as severe as 1-1, but for the sake of ease, we'll say 1-1. So if you're going to get a 5-place grid penalty because you've changed an engine, that would be 5 constructors' points.
Oh, I see. Points penalties rather than...
Points penalty, put points to the team
Yeah,
rather than the driver.
to the driver, yeah.
Yeah, if a driver makes a mistake, penalise the driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's down to a reliability issue
That's
on
the
the
team.
car,
that's the
is
team.
the team's
Yeah,
fault.
it is, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that would appear on the face of it to be fairer, although I'm sure there are many underlying circumstances we're not privy to that would probably point to say, no, wait, that doesn't work.
No, I'm sure there'll be something, but realistically, especially we're looking at it because more and more now, I think Formula One realises it needs to be a show.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's more something I've been saying since we did our first fucking episode. But
It's all right, we're only 102 in now.
I know, yeah, they're listening. It's all right. AJ Styles stayed on SmackDown instead of going to Raw, so I think that some low-level WWE writers listen to Banter Club as well. I forgot where I was going. Yeah,
SmackDown.
it's got to be fairer. It's got that, like, even the unfairness that could possibly arise on the team side, it has to be fairer than giving a driver like that's fighting for a world championship that could possibly have that championship taken off him because somebody else hits him and he's got to change his gearbox.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. You know, like driver collision, yeah, penalise the drivers.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Maybe even the time penalty thing, because if a driver gets a 5-second penalty, they can either they take it at the next pit stop, or if there's no pit stop, they have it added onto the time at the end of the race. But if it's early on enough in a race, they can factor that in to the strategy and be like, well, you're going to have to push a little bit harder on that stint so that you cancel out your time penalty. But if you know that for you caused a collision in this race, your penalty's coming at the next race, it doesn't matter then. But what?
Yeah, I mean, I still stand by I like the fact that they've been being a bit more lenient with drivers. I still don't think Sainz deserves the penalty he got. I think that was half Stroll's fault. I don't think it was all Sainz's fault. But I feel they should be more lenient with the drivers when it comes to racing, because it is so difficult to overtake that the last thing you want to do is have them worrying about banging wheels a little bit to get past.
Yeah, I think as well with Carlos Sainz in his 3-place grid drop for Russia. He's pretty good around Russia, isn't he? He's given us a couple of exciting races in the last couple of years, Carlos Sainz.
Especially after 2 years ago when he went off in qualifying and
got
no one
back in
thought
the
he was going
car.
to make the grid, and then all of a sudden he turns up
Yeah.
after being in
Quiet of
hospital.
late, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, be hilarious if he put it on pole and was like, fourth, yes.
I don't think he's going to do that.
No, no, I don't think it's going to happen either. But talking people safe in Formula One, as you were talking before, I have always said that what Formula One needs to do is remove the veil of secrecy within teams, because it's a very secretive, almost like a spy organization. Almost. We had Spygate, even haven't we, in Formula One between McLaren and Ferrari? Somebody
if there's a gate, Alonso's usually something to do with it.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, Crashgate, Spygate.
But it's never his fault.
No,
He's
no.
never anywhere near it. It's just the same team that he's in.
Absolutely.
Does he bring his own grassy knoll with him and stand on it?
He must do. If
No, he
this-
encourages people to stand on it with him and then walks off.
if it was CSI, he would be that smarmy businessman that's constantly being interviewed, where the police know he's guilty,
Yeah, and he's just like,
he
"Prove
can
it."
just never get it to stick.
Yeah.
I have diplomatic immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he's going to get caught out by a pube on a pillow one day.
In a Ferrari garage.
So we've got Alonso in CSI. We've got Maurizio Riva-Beni as a cigarette-smoking man from the X-Files.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or
That was
is it-
Arsene Wenger, wasn't it?
Or the cigarette-selling man.
Yeah, cigarette selling man. But no, talking of fixing Formula One, I've always said that they should reveal all their designs and the data that they're getting during a race. And the FIA or FOM, not sure exactly who, have finally told the teams, start sharing your data with not just with other teams but publicly as well. With so the public can sort of see how your drivers are doing through the race and through certain parts of the laps. The fans are going to get more access to data. Now, this is full-on Formula One geek stuff.
Yeah.
But you could log on to the F1 driver tracker, or the app on your laptop timing screen if you have that open during races or whatever.
Has Fernando wept today.com.
And you can see if you hear on the team radio, that needs to be made.
If I didn't have every computer in front of me doing something, I would be on GoDaddy registering all these sites now.
Do you know what? I don't care how long that website or that company's been around. That name fucking unsettles me.
GoDaddy, yeah. Yeah, no.
I don't believe they were the first. They were the first owners of that domain. Carry on.
Yeah, it's great to see that the fans are actually going to get that sort of level. You can hear like a team radio coming across, and it could very well be Fernando Alonso weeping. Oh, I've got another problem with the drive shaft. Can you look into it for me? And then you can go on to let's have a look at Alonso. Let's go. Oh, his speeds are a lot slower on that straight than Van Dorn's. Oh, he's 0.3 of a second slower during that sector. He lost it completely on that corner. What happened?
There's not only that, but IT geeks like to make mashups where they take data from different places and do interesting things with it. So you could have things that
Are you one of these?
might be.
Dan likes spreadsheets.
In fairness, I've played Championship Manager for years as well.
Yes.
More of a bar chart man myself. Carry on.
Aye.
I've forgotten where I was going. But, the
People from data and...
people making graphics and information that Formula One and that Sky have never thought could be done.
Yeah. Oh, it's the best way to get for innovation in anything really is to for all the problems that it has, throw it at the internet hive mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's fantastic. We're going to get... I don't know how quite it's going to work, but it's going to get more access to more information. And other teams are going to have that access as well. So, you could see really interesting sort of battles mid-race. Now, hang on a second. It's out of the DRS zone, but Lewis Hamilton's a lot slower through turn 7 than you are, Sebastian. Do you think you can get close to him through turn 6? You might be able to have a go at him through turn 7. Stuff like that. It may well end up seeing better racing.
Yeah,
You've been very quiet, Paul.
So-
I am very quiet tonight. I don't know why.
Just Johnny Knobhead in Leeds going on Twitter. Hashtag Seb, second gear through T3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Ferrari's social media man is there like, good idea. Johnny
No,
Knobhead from Leeds.
No. It goes straight to the driver.
Oh, I see on his
Yeah.
Twitter feed.
Drive the race by Twitter. That's more of a Formula E thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is
Robo race.
Robo race or fan boot. What happened in the Robo race? Did everybody crash and die?
Has that happened?
I don't know.
How could they actually die if they weren't having drivers in the car?
Trust me, robots.
Yeah.
It can happen.
So all the robot cars rose up and
Rise of the Machines.
Maybe that's where it stops. Maybe halfway through, like this is like like Formula Robot 2021. That's the beginning. Is when the robots decide not to race for man.
I haven't put this on the
Robots race for robots.
I haven't put this on the running order, but did anybody have a look at that detailed Renault 2027 thing for Formula 1 10 years
I
down
was
the
a
line?
fucking hot mess when I saw that.
That was pretty.
Ace.
See the autonomous drive in case of driver.
Oh, fuck autonomous drive. I'm
no.
not into that. But
No, I thought that was great. If something goes wrong with the car, it switches to autonomous drive, or if the driver have an accident or whatever, and the driver
Wants a nap.
Yeah, wants a nap. It switches into autonomous drive, which is electric only, and drives itself back into the pits.
yeah.
Yes, I want to see that.
What I did think was funny, the
LED lights going around the wheels.
yeah, like that.
I like that.
What I did think was funny though was the fact that they had like the mesh like side pods so you could see the
Oh, yeah.
drivers. Yeah, that's grand, but what they forget to mention is that whatever material they've drawn doesn't fucking exist. Let's prototype
They've got
things.
10 years to invent it.
10 years to make some sort of fucking graphite mesh that's got that can withstand impacts like carbon fibre.
It's probably made from graphene.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be a graph. There's another chart for you.
Yes, that's what I mean. It'll be like graph paper just on its side with holes punched in it.
Yeah. Fucking. It's good. It's good.
Read my data.
It's a good job. HRT on still there. Otherwise, it'd be like net curtains stretched
Yeah.
across it.
Yeah, weird like sort of like your grandma's slightly tea stained net curtains. Yeah, no.
can we get back to the running order?
Go on
at
then.
some
What have you
point?
got next?
What I've got next.
Were we not on the running order?
Not that wasn't on the running order.
Jesus.
Should have been. Should have been.
Nothing but professionalism. Sorry, nothing like professionalism here.
Shh. They don't know that. Obviously, they're here.
Well, I showed them the running order first, and all said, all right. Next thing it says, Gilles de Ferran to advise Alonso.
Yes.
That's
Leave McLaren, Alonso. Leave them now.
That's going to take a lot of advice. You turn left, then you turn left, and then you turn
Try
left.
to go fast.
I don't think. Surely you just turn left.
And
No,
that's
the,
it.
the straight bits.
Oh,
Turn left, straighten up.
It's not
turn
just.
left,
It's not a
straighten
circle.
up.
Right. Okay.
No, it's an oval.
It's an oval.
Yeah.
That's one of the main ideas of oval racing.
Oh fucking hell! That makes more sense now.
Unless you're at the one that they call the tricky triangle.
I just square racing.
No, that would be like was it the Arizona USGP in Arizona, or was it Detroit? But it was just 90-degree bends constantly.
I think, yeah, might have been the Arizona one.
right. Square racing, but the track changes. So basically, you've got it would have to be on a metal surface, yeah. So the track can move underneath itself.
A metal surface.
Yeah. Listen.
Right, go on.
So basically, it randomizes itself. The square randomizes itself.
I
So
think
your
Lee might.
your braking distances are constantly changing.
I think the drivers might struggle with that.
I think Lee might have broken motorsport.
Or come up with a concept for the next version of Wipeout.
Hey, Red Bull, if you're watching.
Nah, needs more fire.
It does need more fire.
No, but the guy that's in charge of Formula E is going.
Movable circuits.
He's sat there on his desk now with the two pieces of paper going, I know what he means.
Yeah. But no, get back on.
Actually,
on
isn't that Rallycross?
What?
They have a movable circuit effectively in Rallycross, don't they?
Do they?
Did they?
Well, it's not movable, but they've got the
cars
Joker
move.
lap, which is
Oh, you can go 3 times a race. You can go down the slight shortcut.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
know,
that.
I know they've
yeah.
got it in powerboat racing where they do what they call a pit lap, where you have to do an extended bit of the course
Yeah.
at one point during the race, because they used to have the Honda Powerboat around the Honda Powerboat Championship
Yep.
in Douglas
Yeah.
Bay, and the course was set out, but there was like a 400-metre extension on it, and every boat had to do that once or twice during the race.
Yeah, similar
called
to
it a pit
Rallycross.
lap.
Yeah,
World
Similar
Powerboat
to what
Racing.
you do Rallycross. It's either a longer way round that you have to do 3 times, or a slight shortcut that you have to do 3 times a race. But it's great because first lap, half of them they sort of split to try and get the early advantage, and it's really good to watch actually. Rallycross.
I must admit,
Very
I
fun.
always thought what the end game is for Formula E was quite cool because they want to wirelessly charge the cars, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
And have like a charging lane
Yeah.
on the circuit somewhere. And I did always think that would be
like
cool.
actual real scale electric.
Well, like actual Wipeout.
Well,
not
yeah.
Wipeout. F-Zero. F-Zero is you could when you went into the pits, it was just like an electromagnetic thing that recharged your energy.
Yeah, fair enough. That would be, it's futuristic, but attainable.
Oh yeah, well it's
Yeah.
well attainable. If I can put my phone on something and it charges, then I can put a car on
Exactly. Anyway,
it.
back on
Dodge a
back
wrench,
on
you can
topic.
Dodge a dodgeball.
Absolutely. Gilles de Ferran.
Yes, advising Alonso on how to tackle Indianapolis, I would
Well,
have thought.
Gilles de Ferran is essentially the Fernando Alonso of IndyCar. He's
What,
double
he-
champion.
What, he walked out of the Indy 500 to go race at Monaco? I don't remember that
No,
happening.
no. He's a double champion, and he won. I think he's won the Indy 500 once, and then spent the rest of his career almost not winning things
So isn't that like getting Olivier Panis to tell you how to do Monaco?
because he won it once.
Because he won it once.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hope it rains. They don't run Indianapolis in the wet.
No, on safety grounds, bizarrely enough.
Well, I've seen what happened the year that they tried. I remember watching footage of it one year.
Was it messy?
Um,
Was it more messy? Because IndyCar's pretty messy.
Yeah, they were all doing their outlaps and they all kind of went sideways in turn 1.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do they have wet weather tyres on?
I think they tried to put wet weather tyres on, but they just didn't work.
Fair enough.
Do you have turn 2 in IndyCar, or is it like turn 1, turn 1.1, turn 1.2, turn
We'll get onto that in a
1.3,
bit.
turn 1?
We'll get onto that because we do have a new one-off feature coming up called "What in God's Name is the Indy 500?"
Well, do you know what? I'm quite looking forward to this because it's given me a reason to watch it. I've never watched a full IndyCar race. Never.
I watched IndyCar when I heard Jacques Villeneuve was coming to Formula One from IndyCar, and I was like, I want to watch this because it was on Eurosport at the
Yeah.
time. So I watched an IndyCar race, and I think Villeneuve finished like 17th. I was like, well, he's rubbish.
We
he
should.
wasn't.
We should watch it together, if that's possible for everybody.
Sunday evenings.
Yeah, and we should get video cameras on us so people can watch it with us. Because if we're lost, they'll be lost.
The thing is, a lot of our American viewers and listeners are already well aware of how IndyCar works.
No.
And also,
I'm-
it's
I'm-
motorsport. It's not that difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually
No.
they all start, and the one that goes fastest tends to win.
Yes.
But it's only like for hobbyists, isn't it?
I'm watching the YouTube comments coming in. First one from Jana. Really? IndyCar's great.
There you go.
Why?
I've been watching it this season. I've not seen yesterday's race yet, but I've watched at least highlights of.
No,
of
like I
all
said,
the
I've
other
never
ones,
seen
and
a full race.
You
so
get
I'll be-
closer racing in IndyCar than you do in
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Formula
can't
One.
overtake each. Well, they
can.
do overtake each
It's
other.
all slipstreaming.
But it's all planned. It's all like cycle racing, and that's shit too. Cycle
By the way,
racing with
people,
engines.
Paul and Dan, very big cycling fans.
Yes,
So
very much so.
In fact, the Indy 500 and
Paris
Easy for you.
Roubaix.
sorry.
Roubaix, they have prizes of lumps of the track, don't they?
Yeah. Actually, they both give away bricks effectively.
Paris-Roubaix sounds like a type of water. It
Well,
would be sparkling.
Glass of Paris-Roubaix, sir.
No,
With or without gas?
Paris-Roubaix is the one that they make them ride over cobbles. For
I thought it sounded
large portions of the race.
like a Hollywood child actress.
What, ride over cobbles?
No, Paris-Roubaix.
No, ride over cobbles is something that Lee watched.
A bike race over cobbled streets sounds like the very first in like ye old Red Bull 1875. That was their first extreme sport.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, effectively, it is. But move...
Rougeox.
Oh, come on, let's get back onto the subject for the fourth time.
Was that not part of the...
No, Lee. No, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't know what exactly Mr. or Monsieur. He's French-born Brazilian man, is he? Gilles de Ferran?
Something like.
Monsieur de Ferran or Mr.
Anyway,
de Ferran.
Gilles de Ferran.
Yeah. What he's going to exactly advise Fernando to do.
Win.
Yeah, go faster. Turn left a bit more.
I hope you've got a better engine than the one that you've got most Sundays.
Yeah, well, he will have because it's the Andretti Honda.
It is tactical, isn't it? Because the way the cars grip the surface change as it heats up and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a sport of variables. So there will be things in IndyCar which Fernando Alonso will not be. He might be aware of, but he will need to perhaps master how to react to them. But racing drivers are racing drivers, and they know how to react to cars sliding and what they need to do. They've got radios in IndyCar as well as they've got in Formula One. So.
Well, they've also got something in IndyCar. They've got spotters at either end of the track, which are radioing back into the to the pit, where each driver's got a guy on the radio, so they can see quite a long way down the field behind them. Mm. So you get more information, even though it's a shorter circuit.
Well, yeah. I mean, Fernando probably goes into this with like an advantage as well, but because he's like with him being a professional driver. Like they all have to work like day jobs and things like that and build their own cars, and it's through the week leading up to the race they'll be like working on the ranch and doing.
I think you've gotten confused.
Wrangling.
You've got confused with Red Bull Extreme Pro Bull Riding, which is also a thing that I have seen.
I bet there's a few barbecue joints as well. I bet like some of the drivers that work part time in barbecue joints and things. And
now you're mixing it up with NASCAR.
Yeah, that's what I think Lee's getting confused with. IndyCar and NASCAR, different things, Lee. Different things.
Are they?
Yes, completely.
Are they not just same cars with roofs?
No, absolutely not.
I thought NASCARs were what IndyCar drivers drove to the circuit in.
We apologise to all the NASCAR and IndyCar fans.
It's like because it was the one Jamaican racer, wasn't it? It's how did you win the race? IndyCar.
Oh no, it's getting worse.
Right.
Listeners, viewers, we're sorry.
Can we move swiftly on to the end?
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.
See you later, Lee.
Where are we? MGUH updates for McLaren.
Yeah, that's the reliability thing we were talking about before for Russia. They've got reliability upgrades on the way for Russia. The MGUH. If they use another one, they're gonna on either car. They're gonna find themselves in penalty
land.
Yeah, penalty land, where they're gonna start
Worst theme park ever.
Especially if you're English.
No, it's not as bad as Nick Heidfeld's World of Disappointment.
If you don't like Nick Heidfeld's World of Disappointment, where all your potential goes literally down the drain, then you can pop next door to Penalty Land, where you can just watch McLaren at the back of the grid forever.
I like the idea of like all these little grey mice and we're going. It's a dull world after all.
It's a dull world after all. Oh dear.
Oh God, I've just noticed there isn't a guitar in here, is there?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
It's
there
over
is
there.
there? Oh, it's hidden.
It's over
Oh,
there.
that's all right.
It's miles away.
Oh, that's okay. We've not got
We're
that.
nowhere
for a bit.
near that yet.
But yeah, it looks like McLaren
The
are
first segment.
looks like McLaren are going to apparently have a more reliable engine this weekend. But
I'm at a loss as to what to do with McLaren. We keep pendulum swinging backwards and forwards around McLaren. Even the IndyCar talk is around McLaren. Yes, Lee, IndyCar.
It's going to make me giggle for the rest of the night.
Fine.
I mean, I don't know what gets more slating on here: Scandinavian drivers or Honda.
Honda.
Yeah, I think so.
Scandinavian drivers can prove to us that they are good. Honda, however,
What happens if Alonso walks and they replace him with a returning K-Mag?
they will have lost their minds and need to all be put into an asylum.
Yeah. The only
We don't want any results. K-Mag, welcome back.
if K-Mag walks into the McLaren Technology Centre, the only reason that'll be happening is because someone will be following with like a tin of petrol.
Yeah.
Everything.
K-Mag is the star attraction at Nick Heidefeldt's World of Disappointment.
Yeah, he's the Formula One equivalent of beige.
Right, take that box. That one's done for tonight. Next thing that we've got down, and it's a bit of a serious one, and it's a bit of well, it stems from something serious, but it's turning into some of the most incredible motorsport related news that I think I've seen pretty much ever.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of people know now about the F4 driver Billy Munger, who lost both his lower legs after a crash in a race last week. His team and family got together and they set up a Just Giving page for fundraising for his rehabilitation. They'd set themselves a target of £260,000.
Which was based on the price of a pair of decent prosthetics.
Yeah, and the treatment that he'd need and the sort of time to adapt to get to learn how to use them.
Yeah.
And to try and sort of effectively rebuild his life.
Yeah.
That appeal now stands at over £250,000.
Over three-quarters.
£750,000, sorry.
Yeah.
Getting close to 750,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is in the space of a week, and that has all come from anyone connected with motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go on the Just Giving page, there is, we've linked it on our Facebook page early last week. You can see the donations and the messages and things like that. A couple of notable donations for people in the world of motorsport. One that was doing the rounds quite a lot was Jenson Button's donation, but it's also worth pointing out Max Verstappen also donated the same amount.
I saw at least one other Formula One driver who'd chosen to give their name. I saw BTCC drivers, I saw WTCC drivers, I saw NASCAR drivers, I saw
there was Chip
IndyCar
Ganassi in there, the owner of the IndyCar team. It's just been the entire motorsport community
tremendous.
has just rallied round.
And as a fan, I don't remember ever feeling like motorsport was this much of a community.
Yeah, and it's really going to show that it is, and motorsport fans, as we said last week, are just awesome.
At the end of the day, we're all part of the same club, and it's an awesome club. And you guys and us and everybody that you know who loves racing, we're all amazing.
Yeah. Also, but not to let it get sort of swept over because of like the media attention that's got as well. Thoughts to the family of Gonzalo Milano, so I can't remember. I can't pronounce the 11-year-old boy that died at Alonso's kart track last week as well.
Yeah, that's terrible
thoughts
news.
with his family. That's
absolutely.
awful.
I think we need to bring things up a little bit. Now, it's Reef.
Get ready.
It's the Russian Grand Prix this weekend. We've had the duel in the desert, so is this going to be the showdown in Sochi?
I don't know. It's on Sochi's on the coast, is it, of a particular sea?
I think it's on the Black Sea. It's near some mountains. They had the Winter Olympics there.
Yeah, I think it's on the coast of the Black Sea, isn't it? Sochi.
Massively difficult to get to when I was like looking into going.
To get to Sochi.
Just getting to the circuit's a real pain in the tits.
Well, it's the Olympic Park, isn't it? The Winter Olympic Park in Sochi. So
yeah.
they've built a racetrack in between all of the arenas that they've got there.
Yeah.
So, first use was it 2014 Russian Grand Prix?
First year was a dull processional race, and then it's got better every year, I think, hasn't
It
it?
has.
We didn't have a great race last year, though, did we?
I think it was pretty good last
It
year.
was
the Russian
where we
Grand
saw
Prix.
the emergence of Sweary Seb. He hit me up the arse and
Kvyat.
then hit me again.
Oh yeah, well I mean yeah. I don't think that could be a gold star for the circuit.
No. But yeah,
Wasn't a gold star for Kvyat.
no, it wasn't. No, that and that was of course Daniel Kvyat's last race in the Red Bull team this time last year. But yeah, you don't know what to expect from the Russian Grand Prix. It's technically a street circuit, even though it's not really.
It's a lot more cornery than most street circuits, isn't it?
It's like a rubbish version of the Circuit of the Americas. There's a very similar vibe to it in that track because of the runoff areas and stuff like that. But I don't particularly like the circuit.
I don't think I like the circuit. Where it is seems very very nice and sort of a Black Sea resort.
Yeah.
Which is very nice, of course, when the sun shines. But then Russia's very cold in the winter.
Yeah.
Although they had to use an absolute shed load of artificial snow for the Olympics.
Did
Winter
they?
Olympics, because it didn't snow enough.
Oh well, there you go. so yeah, it was third Russian Grand Prix at the same circuit, and we've seen only Mercedes feature very heavily in the past. We're going to see that again. We're going to have. Yeah, it got to the point where Rosberg ran wide. It was flat spotted his tyres in the first race there, and still managed to finish second, even though he pitted and was last at the end of lap one. So,
Well, Ferrari have been an awful lot closer to Mercedes this year.
Ferrari
haven't they?
are a lot closer. I mean, are we going to see a complete reversal of fortunes with Seb? Instead of being hit up the arse and going out just after the second turn.
You think he'll be the hitter?
No, not. I don't mean quite quite that reversal of fortunes, but celebrating a win at the end of the race.
I think it's McLaren's week. Not McLaren's week.
What's in that tea?
Whatever it is, keep it away from me.
I think it's McLaren's week, and they might finish this race. I think it's probably Mercedes' turn to win one.
Yeah, I think.
Just that Ferraris looks stable though, and I think such is the car, the circuit which a stable car does well at, because there's a lot of
It's
medium
kind on
speeds,
its tyres though, isn't it? We know the Mercedes is pretty bad at heating up its rear tyres, and they have to do quite a bit of tyre saving. Sochi is quite kind on the tyres. Do we see the kitten
I don't know what
softs
the
again?
temperatures are.
Exactly. Yeah. Do we see the kitten softs in Russia this weekend?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We didn't last year because I've been playing it on the Codemasters game for the last week.
Yes.
From the Formula League Challenge, and it was super softs on there.
I'm not. I think that's wrong. I think
it was supers last year
for the race.
for the
are you
race.
sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they've said it's the kitten soft tyres that are getting used. This
Oh
week.
yes, because they were going to use the ultra softs and they changed it, didn't they?
Yes.
And it
Because
then they realised they didn't need to.
Yeah, because the kitten softs didn't come in until Canada last year.
Yeah. Got you.
Because they'd done this big build up on the new softest tyres ever, and
then you
we don't
wait
actually
7 races for them.
You don't actually
Yeah.
get to see them for months.
Yeah.
Have they been announcing the tyre picks this year?
Yes, they
but
have.
They've been a bit quieter.
I've got the emails somewhere in here from Pirelli. I'm kind of one computer down this week, so I'm just checking this on my phone because I've got
It's underneath your other one.
Yeah, I know, but
It's not attainable right now, Lee. It's not viable, should we say? But yeah, with the tyre choice using softer tyres than have been used there before, maybe tyre wear will come into play. Fuel not normally an issue, and in that respect, I think when you look at the very front end, you are kind of looking, as Dan said, at Mercedes being again, marginally stronger than Ferrari at this circuit. Perhaps not, but I don't know because I'm not an expert.
I will be interested to see how they operate Hamilton and Bottas.
That's an interesting point because we speculated last week about they're going to have to start number oneing and number twoing their drivers.
I'll go as far as say if they're going to leave it till mid-season, because like usually we talk about these things in Belgium, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll go as far as say if they leave it to Belgium to number one Hamilton over Bottas, that they will give at least the Drivers' World Championship to
Vettel.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to number 2 Bottas because I don't think he's faster than Hamilton in the race.
Well,
this is the problem. But he gets in front of him like he did last weekend, and essentially cost him the chance to fight for a win. That's all you need. He doesn't. He only needs to be quick enough for 10 laps to fuck it. He can be slower for the other 50 laps. He only needs those 10 laps to fuck it.
The thing is, as well, Valtteri Bottas is actually historically quite quick around Russia as well. He's had some good results in Russia, and he very nearly stole pole position a couple of years ago. And I think I remember hearing him after the qualifying session say, coming up to those last two corners, I looked at my delta and I was 2/10 away from pole position. I thought, I'm going to have to throw everything into these last two corners. Threw it around the first one beautifully, threw it around the second one just before his back end slid out, and he ended up third on the grid.
Yeah.
But he's got good previous in Sochi as Valtteri Bottas, so it could come to him this weekend.
You think it could be his maiden win?
I think, yeah. When it comes to making our predictions, I think I'm going to put Valtteri on top.
I don't think it will, because I genuinely think Mercedes are going to make the right choice.
And 1 and 2 their drivers. If they do, then of course there's no question they're going to have to number 1 Hamilton because they can't number 2.
They
Hamilton.
They might not do it as blatant as a Ferrari number 1 and number 2, but I think this rule of pitting your second driver first, it always been the guy that's in the lead. I think that will go out the window, so they can give Lewis the chance to jump.
Well, I think that it's always that the lead driver has the first choice of pit
That's what I mean.
So
I think
he
that's
can say,
going.
no, I want Bottas to go first.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean, if Lewis is stuck behind Bottas, I think all of a sudden you're going to find it's all right to pit Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The driver that's in the lead gets first choice unless it isn't Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then the team decides.
See, this reminds me an awful lot of something Michael Schumacher said about Rubens Barrichello, because Schumacher was asked why he felt the need to have it written into his contract that he was the number 1 driver at Ferrari when he was so clearly faster than Barrichello. And he said because once or twice a year on his day, Barrichello's unbeatable and those points can cost me championships.
Which is not a silly thing to say at all. But in the other team that's going to be very close to the front, you've got the situation where they're sort of number 1 and number 2 already, but not through direction, through Kimi not having a car yet this year that's really worked for him.
No.
He suffered from oversteer, he suffered from lack of power, he's got a gearbox issue, was it, in Australia or something?
So,
I think Australia was massive understeer, and it just wasn't right.
Yeah,
and he looks like he's missing 2/10 as well. When you look at between him and Vettel, there seems to be a couple of tenths there that have just
It doesn't
gone
look
missing.
like last year's Raikkonen, does it?
No, we like Fighty Raikkonen.
Yeah, Fighty Raikkonen came back at the end of 2015, didn't he?
Yeah, I want to see Fighty Raikkonen in Russia.
Well, is it because he like we're saying that he's not number 2'd like a Ferrari usually would do? Maybe he has been, and maybe
he's lost.
Yeah,
lost
maybe
interest.
his head's down.
Well, this is my last year in Formula 1 anyway, so I might step aside.
And maybe that's why he's getting angry with it, because he knows if he's got any chance of being able to fight for anything, he has to be up pushing Vettel, and that's put more pressure on him to do so. And maybe he's just overdriving the car a little bit.
Possibly, but he's complained every race that something's not been right, and
We'd definitely see more of whingy Kimi this year.
Yeah, but whingy Kimi is less whingy than a lot of other whingy drivers.
Oh yeah, but that is because Kimi isn't.
You normally have stoic Kimi, where it was a bad race.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
it was a good race. Not
He feels
spending
the
at
need to-
least 10 words telling you why it was bad.
He feels he needs to explain why he's slow.
Yeah.
And that isn't a traditional Kimi trait.
No.
You know, that is Kimi that is, you can tell he's not happy.
Although he did have a classic Kimi moment in Bahrain. Why do you feel the Bahrain circuit suits you? I don't know. Go and ask the circuit.
It's now and again he must walk away and go, fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
If there's one person who's going to hate this new Formula One who's giving more access to fans, it's Kimi Raikkonen. The man who just wants to turn up, drive the car and go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, it's hard to see that Kimi would be ahead of Vettel, but much like Valtteri Bottas in Mercedes, Kimi needs a good race to sort of prove that he can push his teammate and at least be a bit racier, a bit more aggressive on circuit. And even if he doesn't have the perfect car underneath him, and he does have to adapt slightly to make it work for him and get that Ferrari where it needs to be, which for Ferrari is a 1-2, I guess.
I think that if Ferrari are going to mount a serious challenge, they will need the 1-2s.
They'll need to be ahead of Mercedes.
Yeah. I just, at the moment, with the problems that Kimi's having, I can't see them being able to do that for quite a few races. I think they need to sit down with Kimi and sort of get to the bottom of what the problem is with the car, as you know, get it down to the minutest detail. Just a happy Kimi is a higher finishing Kimi.
And if they can get second and third in every race, if they can get Kimi ahead of Bottas, then that's good for the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, it's what they need, but at the moment, Bottas is looking faster of the number 2 drivers.
Yeah.
And that is going to harm Ferrari's chances. All right, we're talking about harming Ferrari's chances where they're coming from last year. You know, they've made incredible advances.
Bottas is looking like Riccardo Patrese, and Raikkonen is looking like Gerhard Berger. We know Gerhard Berger's good. We know he's fast, but he's got Ayrton Senna for a teammate, and Riccardo Patrese got Nigel Mansell for a teammate. And you were never going to have Patrese and Berger fighting for a world championship. So it was always going to be Mansell versus Senna.
I like the Berger comparison because I think he raced about as hungover about as many times as Kimi has.
Probably fell off the boat as many times as well. Yeah.
So who do we think is going to get a good weekend this weekend outside of the top 2 teams?
It'd be nice to see Ricciardo get a good weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would.
Red Bull are apparently bringing something big to Spain, so this could be the last race that we see Red Bull sort of tailing off from the top 2 teams. We said for
It was just effectively a B-spec car, isn't it?
apparently so. We are expecting them to get up closer and make it a 3-way fight later in the season, but we don't know exactly when. But they are, bringing essentially almost a brand new package to Spain, which will suit both drivers very well.
It's been a bad surprise, but it's been the surprise of the year for me, Red Bull.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've said before in previous podcasts, 30 seconds adrift in Australia, bar Danny Rick's terrible race. Was it 50 seconds adrift in China? And again, a good 20-30 seconds adrift in Bahrain.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's...
But that's not too different to last year, is it? They started
No, it's
not
just
as close
because
to
it's an aero formula, and Red Bull have made it their business to be the kings of aero.
And Red Bull
it's
needed
not an
to
aero
hit
formula, but you know.
They needed to hit the ground running. They haven't done. So you might see a repeat of last year where Red Bull are sort of bringing it towards the end of the season and could get quite messy in the championship fight. You know, if it is, as we suspect, Vettel Hamilton in like a world championship fighting situation, you've got the Red Bulls mixing it up with the Mercedes and Ferraris as well. That could be really interesting.
Also, Red Bull have threatened to pull out again, haven't they?
In 2021.
Must be a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will be by the time we publish this.
In 2021,
Happy tomorrow, YouTube.
they said that there's got to be changes in the rules that suit them, otherwise they'll just pull out of the sport. And it's like,
It's Helmut Marko kicking off about something that's not going his way
Yeah,
again.
it's shit, isn't it? Because Red Bull, I genuinely think are very good for Formula One. Helmut Marko, I just don't.
yeah.
He will complain about anything and everything if it's not to his team's advantage,
Yeah.
and just put a bloody cork in it. And
Well, we've seen Christian Horner doing the same this year. He's been very, very not whingy as such, but sort of kind of passive aggressive. Christian Horner.
And pretty shit stirry as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But
like-
they've always been like that. You know, look at them when Renault went under. I still think if that year, well, no, sorry, not when Vino went down. I still think when the Renault engine was having problems. Let's face it, that Renault had like proper issues, nowhere near as bad as Honda issues.
Yeah. No,
but they
no.
had issues for one fucking year, and let's not forget they did win races that year as well, didn't they? Yeah.
2015 was it? So no,
I don't think they
not?
did.
Did
but-
Ricciardo not win a race?
He may have won one race.
Yeah.
No, I thought that Monaco was going to be his first win.
Yeah,
Was
but
that
did he-
2015?
That was last year. Only he didn't win it.
No, don't forget when he was racing against Vettel, he won 2 races that year, and Vettel won zero.
That was 2014.
Was it 2014?
Yeah,
was it?
2015 was when Ferrari won a couple of races with Seb.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Got you. But basically, what I mean is, it's oh fuck! I've lost my point.
Helmut Marko whinging. Red Bull don't like things going against what they want.
When Renault went behind.
Oh yeah,
Christian Horner, Renault.
If they'd have spent that time supporting Renault instead of fucking berating them, they might be better off now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Instead of spending the whole year because they thought they were going to get Ferrari and Mercedes engines.
The Enstone team probably would have gone pop if they hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
We've
point.
just had it corrected. Danny Rick won Hungary in 2015.
I
Right,
thought he
thank
won
you.
some.
Cheers,
Thank
Je-
you, Gemma.
Cheers, Gemma. How did you know?
Just a guess.
Yeah. No, I thought they'd won something. Christ Almighty, they think that was a bad year. Imagine what McLaren would give to win a race.
Exactly, yeah. And Ricciardo winning in Hungary was thinking back on it. Was that the year everybody crashed into everybody else?
It's Hungary. Everyone usually crashes into everyone else.
And Alonso finished 5th in the McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when.
Yeah,
everyone-
not an engine circuit at all.
No.
So proving your theory that the Renault
Yeah.
was pretty poor that year.
Just had horrible thoughts then of of McLaren's last gasp to try and make the Honda engine go as some sort of bloodletting ceremony with Oliver Turvey.
But yeah, it's when it comes to the midfield pack behind the big two, Red Bull have got to be the head of it.
Yeah.
Can't see much further than that. But then behind Red Bull, it gets really exciting.
Everybody.
It's everybody and anybody until you get to
Everybody who aren't Sauber and McLaren, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah, you've got Renault, the sort of
Force India, Haas, Renault,
But yeah, I mean,
Toro Rosso.
Toro Rosso.
Renault are at the back of when it comes to race pace, but they're quick and single lap pace, so that might work to their advantage in Russia. Then you've got Force India. The car's a little bit overweight, but the drivers, for some reason, keep scoring points.
Seems to be a good race car, just not a good qualifier.
Yeah. It's I think it's not quite as good, relatively speaking, as last year's car was for Force India.
There seems to be a lot more difference this year between race and qualifying pace.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, like Williams, complete polar opposites with their drivers. Lance Stroll appears to suffer a little bit in qualifying, and Massa finds it quite easy.
To be fair, he suffers a little bit in the race as well.
Well, he didn't do too badly in the last race. It'd be nice to see him finish a race. It would be nice to see Lance Stroll finish a race.
Or to see him finish none.
It's
That'd be pretty funny.
it's baby steps, isn't it? We've seen him take a start. Now we've seen him take a pit stop.
We need a bit more from a Formula One driver than that, though.
Well, yes.
Yeah, your aim has to be to finish your first race.
Yeah.
And if you don't finish your very first race, well, you take extra care to make sure you finish your second. And he's done 3 without a finish. So
His wallet got stuck under the brake.
but yeah.
So what was Max Chilton's excuse?
His wallet got stuck on the brake.
Pip, Pip, I'm just out for my Sunday drive. Everybody passed. Don't mind me. How do you do? Toodle Pip. Motoring. But yeah, Williams suffering from like a polar opposite with their drivers. I've already spoken about Renault. Haas, again, was sort of similar. They're suffering a polar opposite with their drivers. But it's never the same 2 drivers. Grosjean performs terribly and K-Mag does well, or Grosjean does really well and K-Mag does terribly.
Yeah.
If they can get both drivers to make that car work in the race at the same time, they could well be on for double points.
They've changed their brakes now, haven't they?
Have they changed their brakes?
They were trying new brakes out in Bahrain, and there weren't any reports of serious brake failures, so it looks like they're going with this new compound.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Brembo, I think.
Yeah.
They're going with.
Which
I think
nobody else uses.
Yeah, I think they're actually made out of pure adamantium, the recycled Wolverine's claws.
Possibly.
Everyone else is Carbon Industry, I think, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking great name for a company.
Carbon Industries.
It's one of the. It does what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
What's the company called? Carbon Industries.
What do you do?
Industrial carbon.
Yeah, that will also be the first company Skynet takes over to start making the Terminators.
Yes, it will be. They won't be made out of metal, will they? Be made out of carbon fibre.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, it's like the.
Be nanocarbon industries then.
Yes.
It's like when they opened a tube line in London. It goes from Hammersmith to the city. What's it called? The Hammersmith and City line. We're not messing about.
The one that goes from Baker Street to Waterloo.
Bakerloo.
Bakerloo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wondered where Bakerloo was. It took me a while to realise it's not actually a place.
No.
No. So yeah, everybody, as you said, back to Sauber and McLaren could well be in the running for points. And if there are enough retirements...
And if McLaren's upgrades are any good...
Well, there might be. Hey, we don't know. There might be.
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure.
But they're reliability they're not performance upgrades, they're reliability upgrades. So they might make it to the end of the race.
Hang on. No.
And yeah, Pascal Wehrlein finished 11th with a split strategy with Marcus Ericsson. Did he one stopped in Bahrain and Ericsson 2 stopped. I think Wehrlein finished 11th.
Yeah, I think that was.
And there are only 13 finishes there.
It's a good. Yeah, I think that the finishes flattered him. Obviously.
Yeah.
Don't forget though, Sauber this year have got Ruth Buscombe
doing strategy.
running the strategy, and I think they actually planned B'd Wehrlein during the race because I think he was down for a 2-stop. They switched him on her data mid-race. That's what got him to 11th. She did great for Haas at the start of last season, and if you notice, their results tailed off after she disappeared.
And Ferrari started screwing up all their strategies after she'd gone to Haas.
Yeah. I think there's a good point to make as well. That I think the back of the midfield and back of the grid seem to have kind of looked out with the problems because, excuse me, down to Williams, you could argue that everybody else has struggled in their own ways with the new rules. Do you know what I mean? So, like, where Haas seem to be struggling slightly this year, but luckily for them, so are Renault, and so are Force India a bit, and so are Toro Rosso, and they all seem to be muddled up. So essentially, the back of the midfield's still tight because nobody's managed to make that jump.
Yeah, going back to Sauber though, their best chance of scoring points is early season. Because as everybody else develops their power units through the season, they're not going to get any development with their power unit.
Yeah, running last year's Ferrari, of course.
And they're going to find themselves in Toro Rosso territory where it's going to be difficult for them to score. Like I'll talk Toro Rosso from last year. It's going to be very difficult for them to find races where they can score points later in the season. So if they are going to score points, it's going to be by taking those risks, by putting themselves in split strategies. and given the driver that they believe has the best chance of scoring points, giving them the best chance to score points. Now, Pascal Wehrlein, brilliant comeback from his injury. He also revealed the extent of his injury after Bahrain. So I don't know if anybody saw the pictures of him with the full back brace on.
Yeah.
So well, maybe he was actually really, really hurt.
I think we can all be just happy the fact that we gave him loads of sympathy, and we kind of knew that he was really injured.
I don't remember any of that.
No,
I remember calling him Princess Pascal and giving him beating him with a stick that we thought he deserved,
And then it turned out he's got 2 fractured vertebrae and can't move his neck for fear of causing more nerve damage.
Yeah, but I am happy
he's
to be
pretty
proven.
fucking wooden anyway, though, isn't he?
I'm very happy to be proven wrong by anybody when it comes to my opinions on Formula One. And Pascal Wehrlein did exactly that.
Last time I was proven wrong, I had to pay for it.
But when you bet, never listen to our tips.
Absolutely.
Which I just want to sort of got a tweet from Zach Henderson this week, slating my favourite football
Ask him
team.
how Harry is.
Oh, yeah. No, it was Bigfoot and the Hendersons over here.
It was Harry and the Hendersons,
Yeah, it was
though,
Harry
wasn't
and
it?
the Hendersons.
Yeah.
When it was originally released all those
The
years ago,
film,
they changed the name.
the film was Bigfoot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But who was the film was shit. The TV show was where it was at.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was just Alf, but only Alf was fucking massive.
But anyway, Zach has sort of criticised my selection on sporting predictions. He's a regular listener. He's also a big Barcelona fan.
If he's questioning you, he's probably quite
You're a
intelligent.
Barcelona fan, and he's questioning you and your football team.
Well,
choice.
yeah, because I said Real Madrid was going to win El Clasico this weekend, and
You got that wrong.
I got that wrong. I also thought York City were going to win this weekend, and I'm not talking about that anymore because football's dead to me. Anyway, back to Sochi.
Soccer ball.
Where were we? The midfield battle. I think there's a lot of straights and long corners in there. I think this suits Toro Rosso.
Why?
their aero package.
Their aero package. With the car looking very similar to the Mercedes, and they seem to be quick in a straight line. With the long turns as well, they're quick and grippy.
Yeah, but you say that, but have we really seen the evidence of that? I mean, I know it's not a bad car, but I don't think there's any. And I'm sure they're decent in straight line speeds, but it hasn't proven to be a big enough advantage to make a difference for them.
No, but I think we may see it come good this weekend.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
I think regardless of the fact that the car happened to look aesthetically a bit like a Mercedes, which it turns out, I think it's turned out anyway, that it's aesthetically looking like a Mercedes rather than actually running like a Mercedes. I think they're just Toro Rosso's back to its meteoric best.
Yeah, I was expecting them to
I
be
was
right
expecting
up
more,
there this
yeah.
year.
I was expecting podium contenders from what from the way. The thing was, they were back in the upper midfield all the way through testing, and we thought they were sandbagging, but they've been in the upper midfield through the races. Yeah. So that's not. They're not. There's nothing more to show there. That's just where that car's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it? If their aero package is good, but their power unit is maybe letting them down a little bit, because all the teams with bar Red Bull at the moment with Renault power units are sort of the
power unit.
The race pace isn't there.
It's not helping. But the top and bottom of it is that Red Bull don't seem to have a particularly good aero package. We're used to seeing from a Red Bull.
They see how that B-spec car looks in Spain.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. There's got to be something coming, because
I wonder if we'll see a C-spec car, because it's really early to bring along a B-spec, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
if it works, fine. But I mean, if they're still not quite there, I wonder if we'll see a C-spec car around Belgium.
Because
possibly, yeah.
Given how much on a Formula One car changes, I mean, people say, it's a B-spec car. But doesn't that kind of mean it's a completely new car in Formula One terms?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, because
it's not just they've replaced odds and sods.
Yeah.
It's they wiped the slate clean and started again.
Well, they said they had a correlation problem, didn't they? Where the wind tunnel wasn't matching up. Sorry, just figuring out what Lee's going on about. Where the wind tunnel wasn't matching up with what they saw in reality. So it's possible that they have said,
I'm just gonna switch cameras to watch Lee eating sweets.
back to the drawing board. I can't believe Lee eating rhubarb and custard.
Other
It's the
sweets are
focus of the
available.
podcast right now.
Dan's making a really good point, and all you want to do is watch Lee eat.
It's very nice.
Continue,
So,
Dan.
would you like to review this sweet, Lee?
Yeah. I'm not generally a rhubarb and custard person, but I quite fancy the boiled sweet. I'm now learning they are not the sweets to eat while you're trying to speak,
No.
because it's just a little bit too big to hide in the corner of my mouth. And now I know what a gerbil feels like.
Oh, there are so many things I could have said there. Anyway, Dan, continue.
So, yeah, they've had this problem with correlation, so it may be that they've had to go, right, this idea, the basic idea of the car is wrong, and the data that we've got from real life proves that, so we need to scrap the whole lot and start again rather than tweak a bit.
Yeah, it could actually be because they were saying it was an unexpected and sizable problem.
Is that a sizable problem?
No, it's not a sizable problem. It's just reminding me that I need Windows updates once again. I'm not stopping this week. We're just going to power through.
Yeah.
Looking at the back two teams.
Let's not spend too long talking about McLaren because 90% of this podcast has been about them.
That is true.
Let's hope it's a double finish. Move on.
Yeah. Sauber. One driver, one non-driver.
Sorry, just quickly, there is a McLaren thing to bring up, which isn't McLaren woes.
Okay.
I'd like to know what you think. What you think? Like, where's Stoffel?
Not as good as Fernando yet. But as I said,
It's a baptism of fire, obviously.
Yeah.
As well.
a couple of weeks ago, this is the first time we've seen him in a car that is, in comparison to other cars around him, is terrible. And it's how he deals with that is going to... How he deals with that is going to shape his future. Now, somebody suggested in a press conference this week that Stoffel Van Dorn's under pressure because he's not performing even in an underperforming car. And straight away it was like, no, Stoffel is under no pressure at all whatsoever. He is a McLaren product of McLaren. He's waited years to get into this seat.
So was Heikki Kovalainen.
No, Heikki Kovalainen was Renault.
Well, yeah, but wasn't he on loan from McLaren?
I don't think so. He may have been
Because Hakkinen brought him in. I'm sure he brought him in through...
through the driver program. Oh, maybe. But I remember Kovalainen was at Renault before he went to McLaren.
McLaren is a different team now to what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ron's gone.
I'd say,
I
I'd
think
say
it
it's
was-
more desperate.
I think it was Zach Brown actually who said, "Look, so this guy's waited years for this seat. There's no way we're just gonna turf him out of it straight away."
I've waited longer.
Yeah, but but you're not a racing driver.
I could be if they gave me a drive.
You have to. Yeah, I'm not getting into that. But they
Zach, if you need another driver, if Jensen doesn't want to do Monaco, Lee said he'll do it.
You might need to give me a little bit longer. I think I might have to lose a pound.
Stop eating boiled sweets.
This would be the last then.
the last thing you eat until May, which is next week. Hang on.
Oh, good lord!
But
This isn't going to be a healthy diet, lads.
no. But the thing with Stoffel is he's been in the car. He's waited a long time to get that seat. Now he's got it, and the car isn't there for him. McLaren know
and
that
Alonso is one of the best in the world
Yeah.
at taking a bad car and doing
better with
good things with it.
You could have
They
just said he's
know.
one of the best in the world at the driving.
They know full well that they've not given Stoffel a good car, so I think they themselves sort of feel that they owe it to Stoffel to look. This car's terrible, but we'll when the good times roll, we still want you around because we know that you've got the potential and talent to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll K-Mag Stoffel Van Dorn just yet.
And then as soon as they finished saying that to Stoffel Van Dorn, he turned around to not Gary Paffett. He's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Nick DeVries or
Yeah.
But remember how highly
Oliver Turvey said, "Yeah, when the
you-
McLaren's good, you'll still be here."
Well, remember what Toto Wolff said. Was it last year? You know, if they don't find a seat for Stoffel, I'm sure we can.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that gamesmanship that was, because
It was possibly was. It was possibly just testing the waters on Toto's part because obviously, obviously Stoffel's like handcuffed to McLaren essentially.
yeah.
But if they weren't gonna,
prepared, if they weren't prepared to put one of their junior drivers in the car, which had Formula One experience,
Yeah.
they weren't exactly going to stuff
Stuff
Well,
for
no.
Stoffel.
Stoffel in.
but then, but at the time it looked like Manor might have been able to survive, and they could have put Stoffel in the Manor, as a Mercedes favour.
yeah.
remember that they managed to negotiate a Sauber seat.
Yeah, absolutely. Ocon's gone to Force India. If they could have offered Stoffel Van Dorn as part of that as well, you never know. Force India may have taken Van Dorn instead of Ocon. Just all of the possibilities that never happened. Why am I talking?
No idea. But I do think that he needs to close up to Alonso in qualifying. I don't think it matters so much in the race, but although his race pace does seem to drop off more. But
Is that the race pace dropping off, or is that just save the car?
it's probably a little bit of both. But what's right in that situation? If Alonso is just basically going, I'm going to drive this car, and if it breaks, fuck it. Is that then right for Stoffel to try and play the long team game and just drive within the limits? Or should he be trying to show what he can do?
I think if the team is saying to Stoffel, slow down a bit, save the car,
Yeah.
he's not got the stature of Alonso. He can't afford to say, no, I'm going to put a fastest lap in.
He's
Yeah.
actually taller.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite the point I was trying to make.
But I can see where you're coming from with that, but also you've got to look at the fact that Stoffel was apparently silently furious that McLaren wouldn't restart his car in Bahrain. He understood why, but he was furious that he wasn't given a chance to race.
Well, of course.
He said all the right things, but didn't say very much, and went out into the paddock and took himself off by himself and just was like, I'm going to spend an hour cooling down before I go and talk to anyone.
Said
about
all the
this."
right things through gritted teeth.
Yeah.
But that's perfectly reasonable to say, yes, I understand that this is the right thing to do for the team.
But
I'm here to race.
Yeah, I'm a
Exactly,
Formula
yeah.
One driver. I want to drive a Formula
Yeah.
One car. I mean, it's got to be frustrating for him as well, because when you think he's been signed up through the McLaren Young Driver Program, clearly had an eye on what Lewis Hamilton's done, and he's there thinking, this is me, this is going to be my time. Then the Honda engine deal came up. Before it all turned wrong, I thought, fucking hell, they're a de facto works team now as well. Here it comes. Oh, fuck it.
It's okay. They've got Jensen and Alonso. It'll be sorted in a couple of years, and then they'll be retiring, and I'll be in.
I'd love to know what his contract is. How long his contract is for?
So would I.
Yeah, that would make for interesting reading.
Because
but-
I can't see it being too much longer, because if he'd already reached the point last year that if they didn't stick him in a Formula One car, they lost him,
Yeah.
then you'd hazard a guess that
It's 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time again talking about McLaren things. Should we make predictions?
No, we were talking about Stoffel, and Stoffel deserved it. He deserved a chat.
Yeah.
It was a positive that we were trying to put on it this
Absolutely.
time, rather than
Yeah.
Just making a point. It's more than he's going to do.
Hey, he was the first one to make points for McLaren last year.
And Jensen could be the first one to do it for McLaren this year.
Let's see. So let's make predictions then. Let's go top threes, heroes and villains.
You can start.
I'll go top three. If it plays out as I think it will play out, I think I'll go top three. I'll go Valtteri Bottas first. Sebastian Vettel second.
So you think Bottas is going to be allowed to win? That you don't think they're going to pull the plug on this?
If Bottas is faster, I don't think they'll pull the plug just yet. And Bottas has performed well in Russia in the past. And I'm going to say Lewis Hamilton, an angry, disillusioned Lewis Hamilton in third place.
Man.
Hero of the weekend, Fernando Alonso. I'm going to put out a bold prediction and say that he can finish 10th, score a point.
Have you been looking on his website, and Alonso brand turd polish is now back in stock?
Well,
I've been sat on that line for about 10 minutes.
he's been polishing turds most of his career.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So if
It's
he's
a fine purveyor of bird polishing. Wow.
so that I'm going to put Alonso down as my hero of the weekend, and my villain of the weekend, I'm going to put Vladimir Putin because he will just be everywhere.
Maybe Chase Carey will put him in a little room with Bernie and just keep them both occupied.
Perhaps, and send that little room into space.
That'll be an interesting dynamic, won't it?
It's the first time that Vladimir Putin will have been occupied.
Jesus. It'll be interesting because given the political climate between America and Russia,
Which is not too bad at the
No,
moment,
it's not-
although
it's not too bad,
They
but-
said it's not as good as it has been. But
yeah. But would the president of a large American company want to be seen sat enjoying a race with Vladimir Putin? In the eyes of America.
Yeah, but when they've got a businessman as president, everything is being run as a business these days. So if it's for business reasons, then yeah.
I don't know. I
I don't think it matters too much. Formula One is perceived as a global sport, no matter who the owners are.
It's above politics.
Yeah. Well,
You say that.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm quoting the official line.
Yeah.
You say that, but we have the drivers lineup at the start of every grid because that's what Putin wanted when the Russian national anthem was starting.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
christened it the Putin parade.
Yeah, you know.
He invented it. Vladimir Putin has actually invented something in Formula One.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the best change in.
Dan, top three, hero and villain?
Okay, top three. I reckon Hamilton's going to win it.
Yeah.
Vettel second. Bottas 30. Will have been in the lead, but then he'll have binned it, just pushing a bit too hard. Hero, I'm with you. I think the reliability is going to be there for the McLarens. It's a twisty circuit, so they might just be able to sneak into the points.
Yeah.
They won't be there on the straights, but they'll be there in the corners.
Faster through the corners.
Yeah. And then villain. Lance Stroll's had a couple of races where things have happened to him. So I reckon this time round he's going to happen to someone else.
You reckon Lance Stroll's going to happen to someone else for a change?
Yeah.
And he'll be on his phone when he gets to the pit, when he gets to the media pit, and it'll be all someone else's fault.
Right, mine. I think we're going to see Vettel winning it from Hamilton with Bottas third. Like Dan, I think Bottas is going to start doing well, but I don't think he'll get number 2'd. I think his pace will just drop off towards the end. If they're on the ultra soft tyres, I just don't think he'll be able to hang them on as long. Because I think Lewis has got 2 more laps in ultra softs than Bottas has.
He's got a couple of tenths as well.
Yeah. Hero of the week, I'm going for Kvyat because I think he's finally going to get a good home Grand Prix. Because he's not.
I hope you're right.
He's not had the best of records in his home race. And villain of the week, I don't know, pick a Swede.
It'll be Marcus Ericsson then. Go on then, Lee.
I think Hamilton's going to win the race.
Yeah.
I think Bottas might be in front of him at some point. I think that, given the straights, it might be a 1-2, on the grid. A front row lookout from Mercedes. If Bottas gets in front of Hamilton, I think he will be removed from being in front of Hamilton, be it told to or
Put on a different pit strategy.
put on a different strategy, which is probably the more likely option. and his head will drop and he will go backwards. And
This is the number 2-ing of Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll do anything to his morale, essentially. So I don't think he'll make the podium. So I think it'll be Lewis, Vettel. I want to say Daniel Ricciardo, but I don't think the Red Bull's going to be quick enough. I think Kimi might scratch his way onto the podium this weekend. Hero of the weekend will be Nick. Not Nick.
Nick Heidfeld.
Nick Heidfeld. I almost said Nick Heidfeld. Hulkenberg.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Yes. And villain of the weekend will be Fairline.
Fair enough.
Let us know your predictions for the race. Get 'em in.
What is that? Is that about 1 hour 40 minutes?
No, sorry, I'm joking.
It's 1 hour 30.
1 hour 30. 1 hour 30 in the first C-bomb.
That's not bad. Good, you've improved.
I'm trying to draw it back.
This is being going out on YouTube as explicit content, isn't it?
It is now.
Yeah.
No! Put it back. Oh! Get that camera off him.
Whoops.
Where was I? Let us know your predictions. You can send a tweet to @3legs4wheels. We'll give all our individual Twitter handles out at the end, but tweet us @3legs4wheels, or put something on the Facebook page, or send us a message through Facebook who you think is going to be your top 3 and your hero and villain. We'll include those in the live blog that we're going to be doing on Sunday.
Yeah, you can join us for that.
Because, as always, we'll be live blogging the race at 3legs4wheels.com.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, it's just good. I think it's going to be a good race. I think we're going to actually see a more exciting one than we've had in the last couple of years.
Well,
Let's hope
we've had
so.
good races. Every race has been a decent race.
We've not had a bad race this year.
So a due one.
You're a little ray of gloom, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, keep your shirt on. We're going to talk about you now.
Well, we're going to
Kind
talk
of.
about virtual Russia.
Virtual Russia.
Virtual Russia.
Formula Lee.
I got a couple of laps in the other day.
Yeah, halfway update. I've not seen your time. We've had a few times so far. You're probably going to be looking at round about the mid-140s.
I
for the
saw
points.
Lee is faster than all of us so far.
I'm in the high one.
High 140s.
Hi-
Well, low 140s.
Low-
sorry.
low
Yeah,
140s.
140.2, I think you are.
Sniffing around the 30s.
Yeah, I will say that at the moment you need to get below 139 to top the time charts.
Oh, I'm not going to chop the. There's people that are much quicker than me, so my competition is yous.
That's
And
good.
your
I've-
competition is everyone else.
Yeah, I've not got your time in it because I've not switched my PlayStation on for a few days. But out of the 3 of us that have set time so far, I'm winning. It doesn't happen all that often. I've got to celebrate it when I can.
No,
Although Dan, I did notice.
you're quicker than Paul, aren't you?
I thought so, but maybe not.
Not when I last checked.
All right.
Although Dan, I did notice you actually set a really good time on a default strategy, not even a custom one.
I wouldn't say it was a really good time.
setup. You're not last.
That is amazing.
So, just as a reminder for the Formula Lee Challenge, because we've had a couple of messages during the course of the week about how to take part. It's F1 2016.
Yep.
You can play it on PS4, Xbox One, and on PC, which I
Yep.
think you've got to buy it through Steam on PC, haven't you?
Yes, I think so. It's a Codemasters game, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the Codemasters game. It's time trial mode, and you have to be driving a Renault
Yep.
in Sochi,
Yep.
in dry conditions,
Yep.
in the afternoon.
Yep. And I definitely didn't have to go onto this website to check that the other day.
Even though you came up with it on last week's podcast.
Was
Yep.
it a Renault?
Yeah.
Was I driving a Renault?
Yes.
You were driving a Renault. Don't
good.
worry, Dan.
One of our listeners has set their quickest time around Sochi in a Mercedes.
Yes, but he also did that 3 months ago.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So he's going to have to send us a picture.
Yes.
Of the time, just to be clear.
Yes. Yeah. This is my dog. Did I win?
Yeah, so to get your time to...
Just quickly to clarify. Yes, you would have won with a picture of your dog.
Hey, this is a cat podcast.
Yeah, well, I'm a dog man. To be
Yeah,
fair.
send us a photo of your time just to show the time in the car that you were driving. And you can do that by private message on Facebook to the page, or send it on email to 3legs4wheels@gmail.com.
What was the time in the car you were driving? 4:30. What do I win?
Dog.
Oh, dear God. Chris,
Yeah, I'm moving.
you're moving. I will show you moving to our YouTube viewers.
Hi, there I am.
There you are. There is a guitar. Lee, have you got the questions?
I have some.
Who were they sent in by someone this week?
Yeah, there's loads. I'm going to pick one of them. This was sent in by James Holman.
Okay,
Yeah.
James, who we need
Real race driver.
actual real racing driver who we need to send some logos to.
Oh, is that him? Is it?
Yeah, that's James, one of the two drivers that's going to be having 3legs4wheels logos on their car.
Responsible
Very
for
cool.
the closest finish ever at Monza.
Yes. The other one being Dave Daddario, who has now got the graphics and he's getting them printed, and I think his first race is coming up this weekend.
That's
Ah,
such a nice
good
name
luck.
to say.
Dave Daddario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Daddario. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Sam-
Go Italy.
Or like some sort of a 80s synth pop guy.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could well be.
There was a comment last week, by the way, Lee, when you were doing Total Shunt. Don't put your phone between your mouth and the microphone because you go quiet.
Yes, I realised that when I watched us back. When I watched us back to improve the show, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to put my glasses on right now.
In the meantime, I will cut over to Chris with a
Hello,
guitar.
people. This today's request comes from the first one I saw today. We had a few in today, but the first one I saw was a Patriots fan, Kevin Thompson, who wanted to do the Total Shunt song in the style of Johnny Cash. So I've gone for the most obvious Johnny Cash song to play because it's easy, but it's not even his song. It's 9 Inch Nails song.
I was going to say the most obvious Johnny Cash song I would have said was Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
But I haven't got any trumpets. I haven't learnt that one either.
It's the Undertaker's theme.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I'm Pascal Verline here, but who's a total shunt? I was going to carry on, but I can't be bothered.
You could have done a boy named Lee as well.
Yeah, a boy named Lee.
I'm a man. Are we ready?
We're ready. YouTubers, play along. Somebody's just said that's surely Johnny Crash.
Yes! Brilliant.
It wasn't Johnny Crash because they were a fairly obscure 80s hair metal band.
Was that an actual name?
They were actually there was actually a band called Johnny Crash in the 80s.
Do they class as AOR?
No, they were hair metal.
Oh, okay.
Fuck my eye socket. Right. Are we ready?
After that comment, I'm not entirely sure.
Go.
I was born in 1975.
Okay, so that makes you 42 years old.
So not
This
me,
year.
not me then.
Who would be 42?
Coulthard? Or is he a little bit older than that?
Coulthard, but I think he might be a little bit older than that. That would have meant he was 19 when he started in Formula One.
Right. So,
I think he was a bit older than 19.
yeah.
It could be, but I don't think it's him.
So someone a little bit younger than him.
7 years ago today, I was in the David Coulthard Museum in Twynham.
Oh, excellent.
That doesn't help us.
No, I know, but there's a photo of me holding his Monaco trophy. That
Right.
doesn't help either. It's just me bragging.
So 42 years old. So you're looking at somebody from the sort of Schumacher era. Schumacher's what, like 45 now, something like that.
Schumacher is 48 because he was a year older than me.
What is he? So he's
Because
48. Wow,
I was happy when he made his comeback because then I wasn't older than every driver on the grid again.
Ah, well there you go.
So maybe Weber?
possibly someone around that
No,
sort of
I
thing.
don't think Webber's quite that old.
I think he was either.
I think he's only just about 40 now.
Well, we'll see. Well, we're not going to get it on the.
We're not going to get it on this.
On what year they were born in.
I competed in only one Grand Prix.
Ah.
Oh. Right. Oh God, what was he called? Drove once for Minardi, drives in Formula E. You've got an autographed photo of him that I got you. And I can't remember his name. And neither can you.
No.
Dan's got an autographed photo of a driver and he can't remember who it is.
No.
There
I'm looking
is
suitably ashamed.
There's a
Gabriele Tarquini, did he only do one
He
race?
did more than one.
There's a terrible question because essentially the last question sort of cancels out the next one, but they're not mine, so fuck it. So this really doesn't help you, but I made it to Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really doesn't help.
So I'd like a guess.
After 3 clues.
Oh God, I can't remember his name. Formula E driver, did one race for Minardi.
Andrea Montemini.
No, it was. I can even tell you what race it was. It was the 2000 French Grand Prix, and he had a spectacular spin crash. And I've just
Who does he race for in Formula E?
that really slow team. Oh, one of them.
Give me nationality. Throw nationalities at me that you're thinking of.
I think he's French. He's either French or German.
I'm gonna have to push you for an answer.
I know you're going to have to push us for an answer, and this is why we're stalling for time here.
Oh no, actually, wait. I'm going to say Andre Lotterer.
I am not Andre Lotterer.
Okay,
Because he's Belgian.
German, isn't he?
Thought he was Belgian.
I always thought he was Belgian.
Maybe he is.
Who cares?
Mr. and Mrs. Lotterer probably do.
I've finished on the podium at Le Mans 6 times, with my best result being second overall 4 times.
Ooh. So I'm always the bridesmaid at Le Mans then.
Jimmy White.
Oh God. Oh, hang on. Frank Montagny drove for Super Aguri, and I'm not sure if he did more
He
than
did
one
like a whole
race.
season,
Did
didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I'm sure he did like a whole season.
I thought that was when Super Aguri were just like changing drivers week to week because some of them were crap, some of them ran out of sponsorship, and some of them the FIA went, no, get him out of the car.
Though Frank Montagne's not in Formula E anymore since he accidentally celebrated winning a race by doing a couple of low lines of coke.
Yeah, but Lee's not said anything about being in Formula E. It was
It's you who said
it was
that.
me that said that about the driver whose name I can't remember.
Only my questions count.
That's usually the idea.
Go on. What's the next one?
What is the next one? I have a best result of 4th on a rally in WRC.
So we're looking at someone who's in WRC.
You're looking at someone that drives cars.
Lots of different cars.
Yeah.
Oh, Manfred, was it Manfred Winkelhock?
Finkelhock was a
His
touring car driver.
Yeah. Johann Winkelhock, wasn't it? Was
Yeah.
the touring car driver.
Sounds like a
Jochen
German
Winkelhock.
shoe.
Jochen, thank you, yeah.
Sounds like a German shoe.
Mm.
Winkelhock.
Does a little bit. Winkelhockers.
Yeah, I've got a pair of Winkelhocks.
For somebody who's relatively successful in rallying,
pretty successful in WRC
endurance.
and not great in F1.
Sebastian Ogier never did Formula One though, did he?
Don't think so.
I'm chewing on my boiled sweet really loudly in the microphone just to annoy everyone who's watching and listening.
Are we ready?
Next clue.
I've competed in the V8 Supercar Championship endurance races.
So that's Australia.
Hey, he's
And
checking
another formula.
he's checking his tweets.
I wasn't actually checking the tweet.
Paul
I was checking
is now banned from giving answers. Paul has been black flagged.
I was checking to see if there was a work message.
Paul
on
has been black flagged.
I'm raising a
Black flagged.
This is an official appeal.
No. You may now stay silent for the game. Daniel and Chris, you may look at
Right,
each other.
I'm just going to look at YouTube messages.
No, don't do that.
Because we can give the points to the YouTubers, like we did last week.
Yeah,
No, we do that at the end.
Yeah, I've never heard of Laurent Redon either.
Not into this. YouTube's wrecking the fucking game.
Well, they're not helping.
Yeah, what have we got so far? That's a made-up name.
You've got a race band. Carry on.
No,
I
that's clear.
don't know enough about V8 supercars or WRC.
In fact,
or-
you've got a race band and a question drop. You can only answer a question from the third question onwards next week.
Next.
You've also got 2 points on your license.
I have stood on top of the podium in Formula E.
Dan, just go home and have a look at that photo. Oh, God, what is his name?
If it is whoever you got the picture of, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking mental.
I'm no closer to. I didn't carry on.
I'm surprised by this one. I thought you'd have had this ages ago. I have been a Toyota Works driver for the past 4 seasons in WEC. For YouTube listeners and listeners, Toyota have 16,000 drivers in their WEC program.
Well, the thing is, they do have a lot of drivers.
I know. I looked at it and thought, that's no fucking help.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, oh, God.
I need an
Do you
answer.
know the guess?
You
now?
need another guess.
Technically, I think I needed one before, didn't I? But I'll take one now.
Oh, I just can't
Right. So
remember
for
his name.
Formula E drivers, Antonio Felix da Costa,
No,
Vin Antonio Liuzzi.
no. Did more than one F1 race.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I know, I'm just going to say.
There are
Says more about Formula E than Dan.
Esteban Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Um,
Stefan Sarazan.
Yes, that's him. Are you Stefan Sarazan?
I am Stefan Sarazan.
Who Dan owns an autographed picture of that I bought him.
Unfortunately, Paul was banned from giving answers.
Am I Stefan Sarazan?
Yes, you are.
I had that on the second question, but I couldn't remember
did?
the bloody name.
But
I had it on the
the
first, but didn't know his name.
remembering the name might be an integral part of knowing the answer to
Yeah,
the.
it's a good move.
Yeah.
I also was a test driver for Prost in 99 and 2000. Although my one Grand Prix I drove for Minardi for the Minardi team in 1999.
I was at the 99 French Grand Prix.
Yeah, I am also French.
Stefan Sarazan.
Yeah,
This
I-
week's total shunt. Thanks for that, James. That was
Yeah.
very, very good. Hard.
Good question, James.
Yeah, we like difficult ones.
And it just goes to prove Dan doesn't know his own living room.
No. No.
And I wasn't actually checking tweets because I got a message through because we're just about to come up to the mailbag.
Oh, is it mailbag time?
It's mailbag time. I'm having to do this kind of completely on the fly because
Well, we had a few good Facebook comments in. I think. I've just actually received new messages. Have you seen these new messages? I'm just waiting for pages to load.
I'm just
You
having a
guys
look
do
at a new message we have.
Oh,
That's
it's
I don't care what he's just saying, so I'm not looking.
it's a total not total. So it's Formula
It's
E
a,
entry.
it's a Formula Lee. Right. So from Facebook, Nidge Betts. Chance of Alonso jumping.
Hey, hang on. Whoa. Back up.
What?
What's his name?
Nidge Betts.
That's fucking weird.
So's Lee Stevens.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a perfect normal name.
If you say so. He says, chances of Alonso jumping ship and Jensen returning this or next season just because I don't want to accept that Jensen has/will retire.
He's a very clever man. I love that guy. Nice, nice name, Nidge.
You take it all, but it's probably short for Nigel.
Could be short for Nigel. But I imagine he's like some sort of flea.
Who, Jensen?
No,
Oh,
Nidge.
right, okay. But yeah, chances...
Sounds like a really small name for a really small creature. that
Will you
gambles.
stop alienating our
That
listeners?
gambles a lot.
Well, I don't know, because the last time he did one with a pile of words, he donated a prize for Formula Lee.
Yeah, it's. I'm only doing it out of love. Consider it roughhousing.
What do we think about Jensen's chances of driving another full season?
A full season. He's got an option. Is it him that's got the option, or McLaren who have the option for 2018?
Well, I thought it was him, but it's been
Oh
in the
look, we're
press
back to McLaren.
yeah, but it's been in the press quite a lot that it's McLaren that have got the option and they can call him back.
But I actually think if Fernando is successful in Indy 500, that he'll want to ditch Formula One and be like, you know what, there are other sports disciplines out there that I can race in and have more fun and be quite good at. So see you later, Formula One.
Other motor races are available.
I think for Fernando to stay in Formula One, he needs a Mercedes or Ferrari drive, which I think is, although not out of the question, unlikely. I think Mercedes is probably slightly more likely than Ferrari. Or Honda's updates need to do something fucking ridiculous over the next few months to keep him there, which
Yeah.
I genuinely don't think Honda are capable of doing what they need to do in a time space quick enough now to keep Fernando there.
I think if by the end of the season they're getting fourth places, maybe even a podium, then that will be fast enough improvement for him to say
Sorry, this season?
this
Yeah,
season,
right.
yeah. That'll be fast enough improvement for him to say, yes, next year I can be winning races
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
But I think that's highly, highly unlikely, isn't it?
At the
They've
moment,
had-
yes.
They've had fifth places.
Yeah, but you don't mean the odd fourth, do you? You mean
solid.
Yeah.
regardless of who's there, qualifying fifth, finishing fourth, maybe a podium. That's what
Or-
he needs.
Or even if it's not regular, they've got to be up there and in the fight with the Red Bulls, with the Ferraris.
Yeah. Because,
That's where McLaren should be, at least.
Yeah.
It's
we
where
thought
they
they'd
would
start.
be if they hadn't moved away from Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite probably.
I think whatever Renault can do development wise, and even more than development wise, whatever they can say to Fernando when he goes for his trip round there, which will happen.
Yeah.
There will be pictures of Fernando going. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose.
That's right, going around Edstone.
Yeah. And I think it'll be quite public as well, because he will then use that in his pressuring of Honda as well.
But again, if they're not getting
No,
fourth places,
yeah.
podiums, I don't think he'd go to them.
But that's the thing. If he doesn't do that,
Or
I
maybe
think
if
Flood's right. I think he'll go to Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either Indy or something else, because he'll go, look, I've had more fun somewhere else.
Yeah.
Formula One's boring, see you later.
if they're near the front runners, if Renault are near the front runners, he might say, "Well, I'm better than their other drivers. I could put that car in first place."
Yeah. The other question is whether Jensen would want to drive a full season for McLaren
Exactly.
if they're not showing signs of improvement.
And
Exactly.
I think Alonso said this weekend that Jensen was doing Monaco, but wasn't looking forward to it.
Did he?
Oh, did he really say
Wow.
that?
I don't know whether that's true or whether he was just shit stirring a bit.
Possibly just stirring the pot a
But
bit more.
all of the above, I think.
But still talking about the same subject.
McLaren.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a comment from Sean, our favourite Sean.
Oh, what's his surname?
Karczewski. Karczewski.
Let's hang on now.
I actually had a Twitter
no, let's be
conversation
honest.
with him.
He's not our favourite Sean.
No, he's a second favourite Sean.
Yeah.
No, he's a favourite Sean listener.
Yeah.
The other Sean doesn't listen to us.
Maybe he does. if he does, he's our favourite Sean, listening Sean as well.
Sean Karczewski.
Oh, no.
I had a Twitter conversation with this guy.
Because
That's
if
how
we
you
just
pronounce
added
his name.
Sean's, like Shawn Michaels has got to be up there.
Oh yeah, it's a good point actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
So, Sean, what active drivers from
Mediocre Sean.
what active drivers from other racing series would you have liked to see fill in Fernando in Monaco? I know he makes a living in two wheels, but I think seeing Valentino Rossi fill in would have been spectacular. He's pretty quick in testing a Ferrari in the past and would bring more charisma than most of the current F1 drivers combined.
Was quick, was he?
He was quick in the Ferrari, very
Was he?
quick. Yeah, I think around what's it called? The test track Fiorano.
Fiorano, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was only 1/10 of a second off of Michael Schumacher's fastest lap in that particular car.
Wow. It's always going to be the missed opportunity. That
I think so. Yeah. He's. But I kind of see where Sean's coming from with this. If Formula One driver is going to jump ship and do a bit of Indy midway through the season, what other drivers would you like to see, or competitors from other motorsports would you like to see come into Formula One, maybe for a race, or standing in for someone, or
Like Sean, I would love to see Rossi in Formula One.
Yeah.
just for a
Right.
race?
Just for a race. Monaco wouldn't be the right race for
No.
anyone to jump into, but
I'd argue Marc Marquez as well.
Marc Marquez is a possible. Jorge Lorenzo's driven a Mercedes as well.
Yeah, he can't even ride a bike at the minute.
No, not at the moment. So that's motorcycle riders. Is it pretty much done with?
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to see Cal Crutchlow driving around Monaco.
No. Troy Bayliss in his day would have been interesting to see in four wheels. Because he could go to any discipline with motorcycles, World Superbikes, MotoGP. It didn't matter. Just put him on a bike, he'd win a race.
I wouldn't mind, especially back in the sort of early 2000s. I wouldn't have mind seeing Jason Plato in a
Make a Formula One.
Yeah.
That could have been.
Colin McRae, obviously.
Colin McRae did drive a Jordan round Silverstone, and again he was in that particular car. It was in Martin Brundle's car. I think he was very close to Martin Brundle's quickest time round Silverstone after half a day of testing.
Does Max Chilton count? He wasn't a Formula One driver.
is he someone you want to see try in Formula One?
I'd like to see him back.
So
I
you would like to
do
see
miss him.
like to see IndyCar driver Max Chilton in Formula One?
Yes.
Well, you got to see him at the back.
Yeah. I'd have him back. I'd have him in before Ericsson. At least there was some comedy from him.
I'd like to see what Alexander Rossi could do in
a
a
top
decent powered
car,
F1
yeah.
car, because he's obviously proved that he's not all that bad in IndyCar.
Absolutely.
And he was doing good things with the manor, but you couldn't see it because he was putting it 5 seconds behind everyone instead of 20 seconds behind everyone.
Yeah, that was the main issue.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Even though he's already had a go in Formula One, I'd like to see Anthony Davidson have another go.
Yeah, he had one season in was it Super Aguri?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never really got a fair roll of the dice at Formula One.
No, not really. And pulled out some pretty spectacular performances in that season.
And given what he's done in his WEC career as well since then, he's every bit the real racing driver.
Yeah. Going back to IndyCar, I'd like to see what Ryan Hunter-Reay can do, because what I've been seeing and what I've been reading about IndyCar, 'cause I've sort of been swatting up over the last couple of weeks for obvious reasons. He is the one getting completely raved about. So I'd like to see if he can transfer that to F1.
Is he the one making a living out of it?
I'd like to see Max Verstappen have a go in a rally car or something like that. Maybe
Well, he drives an F1 car like a rally car. So.
yeah, like a touring car race or something, just to see how he deals with not single seaters. That'd be quite interesting to see. But that doesn't really answer Sean's question.
Oh, Pastor Maldonado in a touring car, full contact racing.
It might be what he needs.
Might well be what he needs, actually.
You know exactly what would happen if Maldonado got into a touring car.
Formula Rugby.
He'd be like John Cleland.
No, he would bring that car back at the end of the race in immaculate condition without a scratch on it.
Yeah. having
And I would lose all of my money.
having topped every practice session, got pole and won the race from pole.
Yeah. He would just take off, nobody would be anywhere near him, and the car would be immaculate. Had a good one from Tyson Best. No comments on the name? Just checking. No, okay.
No.
This is a story that I've not
It's a good name.
come across. Alan Prost's idea to let the teams use a mix of tyre compounds
I was reading
at the
this
same
today.
time.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you're on a predominantly clockwise circuit and a lot of the corners are hard braking right turns, and your left tyres are going to take a more of the beating than your right tyres. But then I don't know how that affects the balance. If
I
you've
would-
got
or-
mediums on the
I think they go
outside-
front rear rather than side to side.
You
Yeah.
take a track like Bahrain, where
Yeah.
all of the people who know this stuff were saying that it's a rear limited circuit. It's harder
Got
on the
harder
rear
tyres,
tyres
yeah.
than your front. Yeah, put harder tyres on the rear.
But does that change? I don't know how that would affect the balance of the car, and I'm not sure if it would be possible. I remember when.
Oh yeah, I think
it's,
it'd be
it's
possible.
definitely possible
yeah.
to have different tyres front and rear and have it work for
Yeah,
you.
because
Yeah.
realistically, all you're doing is trying to. If you're missing grip on the front, you're adding grip by using a softer tire and
Was
vice
it
versa. So.
Silverstone a couple of years ago when Bottas had a wrong tyre put on. Well, last year was it? When,
Oh, when
Yeah.
when it was on
Yeah.
3 mediums and a hard.
yeah, or three mediums and a
but
soft was it?
that was an accident rather than deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, it's against the rules at the moment, but
I'm pretty sure it's been part of the rules in the past that you were allowed to do that, and I think I remember drivers doing it, or am I thinking of a different sport?
they do it in MotoGP a lot.
As I say, MotoGP, they've got different compounds front and rear.
Yeah.
Because that was some of the that's the problems that always crop up later in the race.
Yeah.
When the softer rear tyre begins to let go and riders slow down.
Yeah,
But I think it would be worth looking at in Formula One.
maybe doing a couple of tests and seeing how it affects the balance of the car.
Well, going from 2 different tyre compounds to 3 made the races more interesting because it shook things up.
Yeah.
So if you keep 3 tyre compounds but have, what's that going to be? That's going to be 9 different potential ways you could put them together.
Yeah.
It's going to make it even more interesting.
If it
in
wasn't-
theory.
If it wasn't for the fact that the a driver always wants to be in the fastest possible thing they can get their hands on, and if it wasn't for the fact that teams can now and again get a little bit Ken Tyrrell about safety if it gives them an advantage, it would be nice for them to lift the suggested tyres off and just say, they are the tyres, use what you will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got up to 12 sets of
12
tyres.
sets of a mix of
Yeah,
foot-
you've got 36 tyres to use over the course, 48 tyres to use over the course of a weekend.
Oh no, you still because you're still wanting to cut costs, but you say you still have how many sets of tires? They have 12.
12.
Yeah, you still get your 12 sets of tires, but
It's
those
just
12
which
can be whatever
combos
you,
you use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be interesting to explore it at least. I don't know, as I say, whether or not it would work, but it's he is the professor for a reason. So
Yeah, because he's clever,
yeah,
apparently. Right, I think that does it all about for this week.
Sleepy times.
I think it might be.
Awesome.
We're actually finishing before midnight for once.
Jeez.
Thanks for everyone that's joined us on YouTube tonight. Been watching the comments coming in.
excellent. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. We love you all
Yeah,
dearly.
same time again next week for everyone. With a few less technical glitches because we'll be using the same equipment 2 weeks on the trot.
Yes, it'll be ready to go and everything will be grand.
Yeah. If you want to get in touch with us, you can tweet us at 3 Legs 4 Wheels or
At a total shunt.
At Flood21.
At Danbert.
and at Pablo100. We've got the Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and look for 3 Legs 4 Wheels. We're on there.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel is now youtube.com/3 Legs 4 Wheels as of this afternoon. We finally got that sorted. You can email us 3legs4wheels@gmail.com. And we've got the extra show for everyone that subscribes on Patreon. And you can get all the details on that at patreon.com/3 Legs 4 Wheels. Starts at $1 a month for an extra show, goes up to T-shirts for the top level subscribers
We
and
talked
paid
about
drivers.
music, Yetis,
We were supposed
and
to move that,
parallel
weren't we?
universes.
Oh
today.
yeah, we're meant to be moving that.
I'm sort of modelling a T-shirt a little bit here. But Dan's got one as well.
Dan's got one of the 3 Legs 4 Wheels T-shirts, which now I know how much they cost. They are going on the website this week. We'll have them for sale. They will be £10 each plus postage.
That one's 12 because it's still got a bit of my sweat in it.
I'd have said that one was 8.
No, because you could technically clone me.
Who in their right mind would want to do that?
Somebody.
That is the scariest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
You don't
2
know.
Lees.
And just to answer Niska's question on YouTube, yes, there is a Patreon podcast this week. We have already recorded it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will be back with another podcast next week. We'll be doing the live blog during the race on Sunday. I will be doing the live qualifying blog as well Saturday.
Okie doke.
We'll have the live blog at threelegs4wheels.com on Sunday. So join us as always.
I'm going to be in Germany, so I'm going to be trying to find somewhere to watch it.
A TV.
Yes, I will find a TV.
Well, you're going to be in Germany.
Yeah.
You can go to Nick Heidfeldt's World of Disappointment. Or in Germany, I believe they call it Nick Heidfeldt's Welt und Disappointment.
That's Nick Heidfeld's World and Disappointment.
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of fits anyway. So
That's the name of his autobiography.
You just follow the signs for penalty land. It's next door.
on that note, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.